Welcome to another episode of Crime Pays with Botany Does, and I'm here in West Texas. We're doing pollination studies today, just basically posting up and lurking and taking photos of every insect that we see in a prickly pear or a peyote flower. We're doing pollination studies on cacti today in West Texas, and I want to just put a nice public service announcement. Fuck the honeybees, all right? Everyone says save the honeybees, especially the aggressive honeybees. We're interested in the native bees, the cool solitary bees, the ones that don't form hives, the ones that look cooler than the European honeybees, and then some of the little beetles, lots of tiny little beetles, lots of coleoptera that you find in the prickly pear flowers. And those are nice because they don't hit it and then fly away. They normally hit the flower, copulate inside of it, bang inside of it, pass out drunk, like a drunk in a urinal. I don't know why I got that image in my head, but either way, let's keep moving along. Let's see what's going on. Beetles and solitary bees, cool native solitary bees. Fuck the honeybees, here we go. What a nice day it must be for copulating and then passing out inside a prickly pear flower. Jesus, this thing's lit. How many beetles you got in there? What, like 50? What if this is that Acmeodera species? That's the genus. Seem to be the main pollinators. I've seen one or two bees come through. Oh, who's it? No, that's a beetle too. How many different species of beetle you got in there? I wonder. Oh, look, Euphorbia anti-syphilitica's flowering too. Look at that cyathium. That's a nice one. So that's technically an inflorescence. It's a compound flower. Each one of those 5-petaled white things that looks like a flower. You don't need to memorize all that right now. Just know that it's secreting a little bit of nectar in the center of that inflorescence, that white 5-petaled thing. Those aren't really petals either, but again, you don't need to worry about that. And it's luring the pollinators in there to hit it, and and facilitate the sexual recombination. Nice, like it's bleeding latex too. It's that latex that so many Euphorbia species secrete. They pumping throughout their vasculature. Some species have very toxic latex too that can send you to the hospital or blind you, but not this guy. We're just basically looking at the super waxy photosynthetic stems. No leaves, just photosynthetic stems. Beautiful plant. You see it used a lot, in strip mall landscaping in places like Phoenix. I don't think it's native to Phoenix or Tucson, but it's cool they're using it at least. I saw somebody, landscaping a frickin' Starbucks in Tucson with some of the cool native desert milkweeds, the leafless, stem photosynthetic desert milkweeds. Look at it, super dry out right now, which means it's the opportune time for plants that have a storage mechanism, like cacti, to be flowering, since they're less dependent on rain, since they can flower at any time period, basically, as long as they're not too stressed, right? Which is what peyote and the prickly pear are doing. The Localopuntia species. Look at that little guy right there. God, it is dry. It is dry. But I want to see who's hitting these things. I want to do pollination studies. That's a lot of beetles. A lot of beetles and some cool native solitary bees, like the genus Macroptera. And probably some of those Africanized, super aggressive, feral European honeybees are doing it too. But fuck those things. I hate them. We just got attacked. We just got chased off a hill. Ah. It's alright. I only got stung twice. Look at that. That's a really healthy. That guy's really healthy. Grown beneath a dead prickly pear with a dead prickly pear body on top of it. Audads, which are an invasive sheep introduced by hunters, have been laying waste to some of the plants here, notably the lechugia, the agave lechugia. But there's a mountain lion here, and we were here a few months ago and saw a fresh killed audad from one of the mountain lions. So they're also feeding the mountain lions, which is nice. Here, look at that guy's going too. Nice community of the resurrection fern. It's not really a fern, it's a lycophyte. Selaginella lepidophila right there. In the dormant stage, but not dead. If it cooled off and rained, within half an hour those fronds would be opening up like a green palm. Those two are going off too. I just got attacked by another bee. I wonder if the first one that hit me marked me. So then, after that happens, anyone that flies by starts going after you. That's pretty obnoxious. Mortonia sempervirens looking good. Celis Tracy. Look at the leaves. Look at the phyllotaxy on those imbricate-like snake scales. But this is nice. There's lots of pollination going on. Most likely. I mean, they're open for a day. Peyote flowers will open for, you know, they'll open for one day. They close at night. Then they open the next day, and maybe 3 days max. But then you got that one under there. There's lots of individuals flowering at the same time. And that means there's probably lots of cross-pollination going on, which is good for genetic diversity. Most cacti are not self-fertile. Peyote is one that is self-fertile, but it's always better. It's always better for the gene pool to have more outcrossing. Look at that. See, they're all passed out in there. It's getting the job done, though. There's not that many in any of the peyote. Just in the Opuntia. Oh, God. It's almost obscene. Look at them. Oh, there we go. There's a nice native bee. Yeah, look at that guy. Oh, yes. Who's that? Who's that? Look at him. Oh, they're so cute compared to the European ones. Oh, God damn it. He's munching on pollen. Is he stashing it? Look, he's got it all over his leg. It's all over everything. Look at his little ass. Look at his ass. Look at it. Oh, that's a nice looking bee. God. Look, was he cleaning himself before he digged? They don't hang out too long. They just hang out for a little while and then they dip out. See, they are only gracious with their presence for a little bit. How do they fly in this wind, man? This is a mean West Texas wind. You cute little asshole. I didn't even realize there's like a giant old grandpa peyote right there. Not flowering, in the shade. You know, the dead lechugia around him. It was probably a very important fiber plant for native peoples, I would assume. Look at this guy hanging out trying to cop lunch. Conniving bastard. I can't hate him for it. I love spiders. You know, on one hand, this guy is really, he's really stressed. I don't know how he's able to grow there because there's no soil, there's no cover except for this, if that's a Bootalua. But on the other hand, whenever it does rain, it's going to come down just like a freaking sieve right to this crack. Hit this crack and then channel right to him. So it's a trade-off. He doesn't necessarily look like he's winning right now, though. And if that, God forbid, that grass ever dies, he's toast. Yeah, the prickly pears are really getting hit, but the Lophophora not so much. They're much smaller flowers, though, so I guess that makes sense. But probably, if you're open for 2 or 3 days, closing at night, of course, you're probably going to get hit at least, 3 or 4 times by some of these little solitary bees. There's been another little black one flying around. Look, there's obviously recruitment, too. Is that recruitment, or is that just another stem, another head popping up from this plant? I've seen this other little black solitary bee. He's been super quick, though. I haven't been able to get a decent photo of him. Oh, wow. Is that thing still alive? Some of this stuff is on the verge of death. Coryphanthas and Escobarias. There's a Chinocereus Desiacanthus here, too. There you go. There's a good dude's he's got a little beetle in him. Oh shit, where'd it go? Did he just fly off? Oh no, there he is. Oh no, there's an ant. God damn it, there was a little beetle. Oh, there he is. Yes, see, I see him. Look, I'm blind. Is that Acme Adera? I don't know. That's the one we get in South Texas, pollinating a lot of peyotes. They go in there, they're eating pollen. They're probably eating parts of the flower, but they're also getting some pollination done. As long as that what looks like a hand in the middle of that flower, that stigma, gets some pollen on it, preferably from another plant. Those pollen grains will germinate, send the pollen tube down into the ovary, and you'll get a little pink chili pepper fruit with between 10 and 20, sometimes only 5 little black seeds inside. But it's not as many pollinators in the peyote flowers, and it seems like they're starting to close up shop as it gets hotter in the day. The ideal time to come out here would have been 4 or 5 hours ago, earlier in the morning, when pollinators are most active. The hotter it gets, a lot of the bees, it's too hot for them. It's not that hot right now. This is chilly compared to South Texas. But, that's why, in places like South Africa, the bee flies end up doing a lot of the pollination, because bee flies, which are a type of fly that parasitizes insects in their larval stage. My friend Alan studies them at the Smithsonian. The bee flies have heat shock proteins And they can take a lot of the hotter temperatures. Hey, look, seen that same beetle is inside the prickly pear flower. Where'd he go? The one with the yellow stripes on it. See that? There he goes. And you got these other little black beetles too. Who's that guy flying around? Who's that? Is that bee I've been trying to get? No, Christ, I don't know. This is kind of funny. See those bracts? Those are actually leaves. Those are cactus leaves, which only exist for a little while and later fall off. But on this new growth, this is a new pad, a new stem of this opuntia. They've got temporary leaves, and then later they fall off, and you just get an areole with a bunch of really mean fiberglass hairs, those little glockids. You got spines and glockids, but remember, only the prickly pear subfamily, Opuntioideae, produces glockids. None of the other, the Cactoideae, the saguaro subfamily, all the other cacti, except for, the really weird basal lineages, they don't produce those glockids. Just the prickly pears and the cylindropunches, the choyas and stuff. Oh, and the dog choyas, the grusonias. There's a few more genera. God, Christ, look at all these beetles. Who's that? Little gray beetles. Are they breeding in there? Why, there's so many of them. It's just a beetle sex hotel inside this Opuntia rufida flower. It's a nice, that's a nice cactus. Attractive looking, at least. I don't know if I'd want to touch it. Doesn't have spines. It's just got glockids. It's like touching some really, really mean fiberglass. All those little glockids come out and stick in you. Beautiful color to it, though, and attractive flowers as well. See, are these guys doing pollination, or are they just scavenging? Are they just getting whatever they can? More of those little beetles, though. See that? The flowers almost look like they're withering in the heat of the day. I should have come out here earlier. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. Have a good rest of your day. Hopefully you got something out of that. Go fuck yourself. Bye.